Hello everybody, how are you today? I hope you are doing great because it is a fabulous day. And today I am going to be talking about schools. Should we reopen during this pandemic or should we continue going to school remotely? So, if you want to know more about this, just stick around. First thing I'm going to say is, yes, I am a teacher, but I am not speaking on a behalf of my position as a teacher. I will depend on some of my experience, of course, but I am not speaking as a teacher. I'm speaking as a private citizen, and I want to be able to give you this right up in the front because I don't want to get in trouble for, giving my opinions, all right? So now let's go ahead and begin. We have so much information about the COVID-19 pandemic that I first thought I would give you some facts, and then I said, you know what, everybody has heard the facts, and some of the facts contradict each other. So people are really choosing as if there was a menu of facts, and they're saying, okay, I want this as an appetizer, and this I want as a main course, and you really can't do that. But that's our reality because this whole pandemic thing has become very political, which is awful, awful, okay? So that out of the way, let's begin with the context, the main deal of this video. Should we go back to school? Not in person. We're not ready. I teach elementary school, and I can tell you, I have caught lice, conjunctivitis, colds, impetigo. I have caught everything from my students. Everything. Why? Because I teach elementary school and they're little, and no matter how hard you try, they're gonna run up to you and hug you, okay? And even though I go like this with my hands because you're not supposed to touch the students, blah, 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 they're all over you. They're little. They like the love. I do too, but you're not supposed to. But it happens, right? And I don't want to get descriptive, but you know that little kids, they're learning the whole hygiene thing. So they use their fingers for a lot of things that perhaps they should use Kleenex for. So come on, let's be real. You have a classroom full of kids, and what we teachers see, especially in the elementary level, is digging in their nose with their fingers, and then sometimes they go ahead and they go in their mouth after that. This is going to get gross, but this is the reality. This is the reality. So, some parents are saying, oh, they're going to be safe in school. Yeah, they're going to be as safe as they always have been without a pandemic. So you know how they have caught lice? Yes? Okay, so this is worse. This is not lice. It's not lice. And what else did they put things in their mouths, and they're going to be with a mask all day. So even though they have the mask, let's talk about this. You've seen the adults. You go to the grocery store and the adults have the mask down here. They don't have it up here. They're like down here, okay? The kids do it too because they see it from their parents. They learn from their parents. So they do it too. And let's talk more about masks. Do you think that there's anything fun about having a mask on all day? When you go to the store with your mask, aren't you waiting to take it off? What are these politicians thinking? What are they thinking? I challenge every politician that says we should go back to school in person to stay with a mask on for 7 hours. I challenge them. Of course, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it not because they don't know that that's one of the best ways to keep safe and to protect others as well. They're not going to do it because it's uncomfortable. And unfortunately, politicians, are hypocrites. There, I said it. Politicians are not my friend. They're not. And unfortunately, they're the ones that are holding the purse strings. So I'm going to give you my personal opinion again. Over at the school district that I work in, they decided, both in Dade County and in Broward, and I don't know if any other states and counties had the same issues, but our governor, Governor DeSantis, I'm calling you out, our governor decided to tell, and the Secretary of Education decided to tell those districts that wrote to them and said, we're not ready to open. If they said, if you do not open, we're not going to fund you. Okay, so show me where the logic is when a superintendent tells the Department of Education and the governor and all the leaders, we're not ready to open safely. And the governor says, if you don't open, we're taking money away from you. Yes, I know I said that twice, and I'm almost tempted to say it 3 times. But does that make sense? If I'm telling you it's not safe, we're not ready, we can't open, why are you telling me you've got to open whether it's safe or not? Does that make any kind of sense? Okay, that's why I don't like politicians. Yes, right now I'm telling you, I do not like Governor DeSantis. So if he's listening, I don't like you because you don't make sense. I'm a teacher and I love making sense. You don't make any sense right now. Okay. So if our own leaders from our school districts are saying it's not safe to open, that should be it. Nobody else should say anything. They should say, okay, is there any way we can help you get safe? Is there any way that we can help you get ready? That should be what they say, not open anyway. Okay, now I'm going to go to the community with this one. I am the founder of the Greater Little Havana Neighborhood Association, and one of the things that I like to do is to have my community be involved, know what's going on, be informed, and be empowered. Okay, so if the community was totally aware, I mean, if there was emphasis on the strong arming to reopen, because this was a strong arm forced position that they had to open the schools. So if you're a parent, and you understand fully that there was kind of like, I don't know, maybe street talk would call it like blackmailing. I don't know, like if you don't do this, you don't get money. If they knew that the district was saying, we're not ready to be safe and open, would the parents go ahead and want to take that risk? I would suggest to my community, in terms of my position as the founder of Greater Little Havana Neighborhood Association, because at this point I can't speak as a teacher. That would get me in big trouble. But as a leader, as a community leader, okay, I would say, stay online. It's safer, okay? And why? Well, look at what happened. The school district wanted to open later. The funding was going to be pulled if they opened later. And the reason they wanted to open later was because they felt they were not ready to have a safe opening. To me, that's logical. So to me, as a community activist, I would tell my community, hold off and stay online. So let's talk about online education. Online education, a lot of those same politicians say, well, students, they need to socialize. I'm the mom of a millennial, and my millennial scoffs at that and says, Mom, I socialize all the time on the internet. That is now part of our socialization activities. We no longer only socialize in person. We don't socialize basically on the phone, because when was the last time you saw a millennial on the phone having a conversation? They text, okay? So these people that are making policy that are like ancient don't seem to understand that the youth of today socializes with this other category called technology. And let's go back to this socialization that they say is so important, and that's why they need to go to the school site. I don't think that there's any socializing going to happen, because we're going to be 6 feet away. These kids are going to be distanced. They can't talk. They can't even talk loud, because the louder you speak, the more forceful you're pushing out air. And you know that these masks are not really 100% safe. We're not using N95 masks. We're using, mostly these kids are going to be using the cloth masks, which are horrible, or they're going to be using the paper ones, which are horrible. But that's what they're going to be using. So they're not going to be talking loud, because they can't, because it's not going to be allowed. That's unsafe. It's against protocol. They're going to be distant from each other, so how can they hear their friends? They can't see their friends, because their friends are all going to be with a mask on, which in my opinion promotes a certain fearfulness. So where's the socializing in that? I don't see it. I don't see how that is going to help. In lunchtime, this is lunchtime. This is how it's going to be, okay? They're going to sit 6 feet apart from each other. They're going to come into the cafeteria with their mask on. They're going to put their tray on the table, take off their mask, eat the food. They can't talk. They're not allowed to be talking, because that'll take away time from the safety. Plus, you can't talk and have your germs spread. All right, think of glitter. You know how glitter spreads all over the place and it's hard to pick it up? Same thing with germs. Now, so after they eat, the mask goes back on. They can't walk around. They can't get up and walk around. They have to sit there and wait until they're picked up. What type of socializing is that? Isn't that more traumatic? I think it is. I think that's a very dramatic situation. Oh my gosh, especially for the little ones. They say the little ones need to go back to school. The little ones are the ones that are going to suffer the most at a school site in person, with all of these safety protocols. And of course, you can't remove the safety protocols because it's dangerous. All right, so let's go on with this. In the classrooms, there's no space for 6 feet distancing. So it's going to be 3 feet and I don't know, some inches, 3 feet, 3 inches, something like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. I do not feel comfortable with that at all, okay? They're going to have their mask on all the time. Have you seen people who are talking on the phone? They're on their cell phone and they go like this. Of course, that's not safe. But why do they go like this and pull that mask down? Because you cannot hear a thing. You don't know what they're saying with a mask on. Everything is muffled. So how many times have you gone to a store to do your groceries? And I keep saying groceries because I'm hoping you all are not going unnecessarily to stores, because at least in my area, we're not ready for that. So if you go to the grocery store and you have that mask on, you want to get that mask off right away. But in the meantime, if you have to say something, or when the cashier is ready to tell you, okay, that'll be $73.92, you're going, what? What? What did you say? Can you say that again? What am I going to do as a teacher when my students are not going to see my facial expressions, which you see that I use a lot to communicate? They're not going to see my facial expressions. They're not going to hear me. I teach a language. How how are they going to see my mouth in order to pronounce the words properly? It is insane. It is insane. Okay? So, no, we should not go back. Now they have to learn a whole new protocol. They just got used to working online, and now they have to learn this whole new protocol, which is mind-boggling, all of the rules and all of the things that they have to learn. It's just not right. It's not right. It's not safe. it's not safe. It's not safe. So what do I suggest as a solution? Well, at least you should wait until Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve is over. At least. Why? Because they're going to be family gatherings. And by the way, here in Miami-Dade, we're under a ordinance that does not allow us to have more than 10 people in an enclosed room. How can we have a class then? If those safety guidelines are in place, why aren't they applicable to a classroom? I don't know. I am so frustrated with the lack of logic in this whole situation. I'm so frustrated because I'm a logical person. I think you do what you got to do, and you always do what's right, and you do it the right way. It should be simple, right? The school district says we're not ready to open, it's not safe. We shouldn't have to open. Governor DeSantis. So anyway, I might get in really big trouble for giving my opinion. I hope not. I hope that I'm supported as an individual and I don't get in big trouble for saying these things. I think it's the truth. I think that the community needs to know the truth and bypass politics. I don't think we have been served properly. I think that the politics has been really, really bad. And I don't want to get emotional because I think that those videos that you see with people crying are, sometimes I wonder, how fake is that or how real is that? I am not crying. I am not going to cry. I might get mad though. I might get mad that we're putting the community in danger, that we're probably going to see another spike of cases. Why? Because of the holidays, and that there has not been one school reopening without a spike in cases. And we're right there at the edge of the number that was prescribed as a healthy number to be able to reopen. We're right at the edge, and we're going to be pushed off the edge. And poor those babies that are going to be manipulated to go now back to school, and then when those numbers rise, because, oh yes, they're going to rise, then go back online. Talk about losing academic acquisition. If we lost academic acquisition and progress because of COVID, we finally are trying to get it back because now we're in a system that we know the kids have been using those online technologies and they're going to use it forever. The technology is not going to go away. So they're trained right now on a real life skill that they're going to use forever. And now we're going to go back to the school site when we don't think it's safe. And they're going to probably have to return to online instruction. So yes, I am mad. I'm not going to cry. I am mad. I don't cry when I'm mad. I am upset and I don't think it's right. So I'm going to do something about it. I know I'm going to vote in the right way so that we have leaders that are a little more conscientious about our health. And honestly, I don't trust any politician. But at least I know some politicians would not have said, open those schools, ready or not, or we'll take your funding away. All right, guys, I think that's enough. I shared my opinion. I want you to share your opinion. I know that one of the comments I'm going to get down below is childcare. Our school sites finish at 3:15. That's when they finish. So what do we do for childcare from that time on? We are always taking care of our children as parents, and we always have to make arrangements for childcare. So in our new reality, we have to adapt to the new needs that we have, and we have to accept them in order to stay safe. So let me know what you think. I hope that you like this video. Please hit that like button. The reason I want you to hit that like button because I want this video to go wild all over the internet as a viral video, because I don't think the news has done justice to the things we need to know about online learning and going back to the school site. So let's help people learn a little more than what the news is not telling them. Okay, especially what the politicians are hiding from them. All right, everybody, I hope you hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. And more important than all that, I hope that you have a day filled with peace, love, and joy. Bye-bye.
Action.